Hello everyone, welcome to the video. Today we'll be going for the Platinum Trophy on Stray. Now, in case you can't tell, in the game Stray, you play as a stray cat. So, Chapter 1, we're pretty much just learning the controls, running around with all our little cat buddies, figuring out what we can and what we can do in the world. Like, for example, scratching trees, great way to pass time. Not really too much to say about Chapter 1. Like I said, we're just pretty much learning the controls of the game. Run through this little area. So I think it's like a sewer. An old sewer type thing. Until we get to this point here. And I'm just gonna let you see what happens.
Fatality.
Yep, we get yeeted down the wall and now we are inside the abandoned city, and that's when we get our first trophy, Missed Jump. And we get to Chapter 2, which is the Dead City. We're going to run through this area, finding another scratching post, or another scratching spot, I should say. There is a trophy for scratching in every chapter. We come to this point here where we are introduced into the enemies of the game. They are basically a bacteria that evolved into this organism that just eats anything. So we end up into this chase scene. Now there is another trophy for getting through this whole little sequence without getting any of the Zerks or Zerk onto you, like that one did just there, but we're going to worry about that later because there's a bit of a story with that. We're moving on. We're up to Chapter 3. We find our little companion called B12. He's going to be coming with us through our journey. That's where we get another trophy, Not Alone. That's for getting B12. He gives us this little backpack thing, which our little cat does not enjoy, which I thought was quite funny. Does not like it one bit, but we get used to it and we are moving on. This is where we learn about memories. With B12, in certain areas he sort of remembers things, and there is a trophy for unlocking all of his memories. So that's the first one of those. Now we're into Chapter 4, I believe. We're in the slums, and that's where we meet the I guess good guys, kind of, you could say that, of the game. It's all inhabited by robots, and they've all over time evolved to have personalities and all that sort of stuff. Another story-based trophy there as well. But after talking to this guy, and basically we used B12 to translate, we told him that we want out, basically, and he's like, well, that's not an easy task. He tells all of his robots friends that, hey, it's alright, this cat's pretty chill, he's not going to hurt anyone, it's all good. So now we get into free roam, we're free to explore, and if we come to the right of him, we find this basketball. If we hit it dead straight, we roll it down there, and we get, you guessed it, a trophy. Boom, chakalaka. We also get another trophy for putting this bag on our head. Curiosity killed the cat. Now when you put this bag on your head, it actually inverts the controls, which I thought was a nice little touch. Also find another memory up here, and eventually you'll come to this TV up on the rooftops, and if you hit that remote, I think it's 9 times, flicking through all the channels, you will get another trophy. Any minute now. Yep. Tell you a chat. Now we learned from that first robot guy that I think his name is Momo. He is the guy to talk to about trying to get out of here. He's a bit upset because his transmitter doesn't work. He's trying to get in touch with his other buddies that have left because they're already trying to find a way out of the city. So he tasks us with finding 3 diaries of his 3 friends that left, because somehow that's going to help him fix the transmitter. So we go off to these 3 different apartments. This is number 1. Find a book right here on his computer table. Apartment number 2, we go down through the roof. And find these stacks of boxes, jump on them, and then jump off them to get the boxes to fall down. And you'll find another book in one of the boxes. Apartment number 3 is full of books. Obviously this guy was some sort of librarian. Come over to these stack of books, jump on them, jump off, get them to fall over. You'll find a safe with the 4th book. Take him back to Momo, and he uses the information inside to fix his transmitter, but the transmitter needs to be put on top of the transmitting tower. Now, where is that transmitting tower? It's surrounded by Zerks, of course, so it's our task to get our way up to the tower and put the thing on and turn it on. All while the time keeping away from the Zerks and making sure they don't get to us. Up here, yep. New chapter, rooftops. And this is where we run into more Zerks. We basically just have to run around them, try not to get captured, and make our way through this chapter. We'll find more memories. I also got a trophy here for catapult. That's for jumping 500 times. Yep, there it is, 500 times. Come to this tower where we call an elevator down, and that just signals all the Zerks as to where we are, and we get absolutely swamped. But that's alright, we make our way around them, up the elevator, plug in the transmitter, and it is up and running. So we can head our way back to Momo and try and get in contact with his friends, wherever they may be. So we're at the bar, at the computer, plug her in, and we managed to get in contact with our other friends, and we find that the only way to get to them is to go through the sewers, and the sewers just so happen to be the most dangerous part of the city. There's another guy that overhears us saying all this, and he basically says that's impossible, you're not gonna be able to get through there. He then storms out of the bar. We follow him, talk to him, and find out that his dad was actually working on a weapon to fight against the Zerks. It just so happens to be that he is missing, so we travel to this other area called I think it's called Dead End, and we have to try and find him. So we're running through this area, dodging all the Zerks. We get to this point where we jump onto this cart, which just takes off. And you can actually control the cart a little bit here, which I thought was pretty cool. And we ended up getting flung off that. And that, I think we end up a little bit injured here, but that's alright. We shake it off, we're all good. Also pick up another trophy here, a little chatty. That I think that's for meowing 100 times. We eventually find the other dude's dad, whose name is Doc. We get the weapon off of him, which is this UV light, which pops all the Zerks. We then have to help him escape so he can make it back to his son, which is a pretty easy task now that we actually have a weapon to fight off these Zerks. And that gives us access to the sewer. Now Momo comes with us into the sewer. We get to this door, the door lock is not working, so he has to hold it open for us. So he has to stay behind. Now we're in the sewer all by ourselves. Running through, there's all these egg sacs everywhere. You get too close and they pop. There's a couple of chase scenes with the Zerks chasing you. There's just Zerks everywhere down here. Like I said, it's the worst part in the whole city for these Zerks. There's a couple of puzzles with opening doors and stuff where you get swamped, absolutely swamped by the Zerks. And you see there, I died a few times in this area. Eventually you make your way through. Once you learn the layout of the actual area, it's not that hard. It's pretty easy actually. Press button here, open the door, onto the next section. We sort of come to, I guess it's like the heart of where all the Zerks are, where you get this massive eyeballs everywhere on the wall, and B12 is so dumbfounded that he pretty much just forgets that we exist, and we get absolutely swamped by the Zerks. And he finally realizes, come back, saves us, but in doing that, overloads his little battery or something, and then he collapses. Like this, there he goes. So we gotta pick him up, and then one final little chase sequence with these Zerks, and we are done with the sewers. Now I get another trophy here called Pacifist. That's for making it through the whole sewer sequence without using the UV light, which makes things a little bit more difficult. We're now on to the next area, which is called Ant Village, and if you jump up here and ruin their, I think it's backgammon, forgive me if I'm wrong, if we ruin their game, they're very upset, and we get another trophy called Catastrophe. I don't know why that was hard to say. The ant village little area is pretty quick. So we're in Midtown now, and we find this other robot called Clementine, who we're told can help us get out of the walled city. They don't greet us with a very welcome greeting, but that's alright. She basically tells us that we need to break into the factory and steal a battery so we can power the subway, so we can get to the next section. So to do that, we need to steal a worker's helmet and a worker's vest. So we wake up this guy from his nap, use him to break into the store so we can steal the helmet. And then on the way there, we break down these 3 security surveillance cameras. So these guys will give us a cassette tape, plug it into this cassette player here in one of the other shops, which blasts some music, which then distracts the shop owner so we can steal the jacket. And we take the helmet and the jacket, give it to this bloke here who's going to sneak us into the factory. So yeah, we jump in the box. He walks us straight through the doors and we are in the factory here. Now there is another trophy for getting through this whole factory without getting detected by any of the drones. I don't think I do that here. I think I come back and do that later. Takes me a couple of goes, but we get through here. It's not. It's pretty short area. You get a little puzzle at the end where you need to put pressure on these 3 plates to actually be able to steal the battery. So we take this battery. Everything gets shut down, which is kind of pointless because you just turn around, go the other way, and you're out already. So we get out of there, run back to Clementine. But when we get back to Clementine, you find that there is drones everywhere. So we got more drones to avoid to get back to her apartment. But when we actually get back to her apartment, you find that she isn't even there. So she's left us a message. She's actually at the disco club. So now we're going to the disco club. Running through there. Oh, I did do the sneak kitty, which is doing that whole sequence without getting spotted. So yeah, that one was all done. Come around. We had to go through the back window because the bouncer wouldn't let us in. So we run through the back window, come up here. We find Clementine tied up to a chair. Turns out that we have been betrayed by the guy that snuck us into a factory, Blazer. Should have known, he looks pretty shifty. So Blazer basically turns us in for money, as it is with these sort of things. And then we get captured by the drones. It's never really explained who is controlling these drones. I guess it's just like the police or something, but there's no like big bad guy at the end of this or anything like that, which I think that could have made it a little bit better, but never mind. We end up thrown in jail in this tiny little cage. But that's alright, we can use our momentum to swing side to side and bust the cage door open. Like so. There's not much to say about the jail proportion. It's just you run around, you find Clementine, and then you find B12, and then you escape, basically. Oh, one thing that I feel like would have made this game just that little bit better. It's a good game, don't get me wrong, but if they gave you control of this little car here during this car scene, I reckon that would have been so good, but that's alright. Still a good game anyway. So we make our escape from the jail. A little bit of a car chase cinematic scene. Clementine decides to drop us off so we can escape, and then gets the drones to follow him or her. I'm not really sure at this point. Elsewhere, we get the battery, power up the subway station so we can take the subway to the next section, which I believe is called the control room, which is the last section of the game. Yep, there it is, control room. Basically, in this last section, we are pretty much at the end of the game here. We just run through this little area into the main control room, press some buttons here to get all the computers turned on. We need to bypass some security measures, which we just scratch off some panels and then B12 can hack into them. I think there's 3 in total, so once all those 3 are done, B12 dies. Yep, his little system gets overloaded and dies. So he's been with us the whole game, and at the very end, that's it. He's just gone. So obviously our little cat friend is very upset by that. So we have a little lie down beside him. And then after that, eventually the roof will open up and shed some light into the dead city for the first time in a couple of 100 years. And as we can see, the light is going to kill all of the Zerks. As soon as the light touches them, they just pop. So they're all gone. The drones all get turned off as well, so no one's being... So all the robots are free to leave if they wish, not held back by any of the police. And then we make our last little run up these stairs, and we are free. And that is the end of the game for Stray. So we should get a trophy here in a minute for finishing the game. It's the last story-related trophy, obviously. Any second. Come on. Where are ya? There it is, Eye Opener. And that is it for the story, but we still have a few trophies to get done. So we make our way back to the disco. We pick up this vinyl record that was sitting on one of the tables, bring it up to the DJs, place it down, and we can actually use it to scratch. And we get the trophy, Scratch. Next up, I had to go back to Ant Village and find 3 different colored plants for this woman, and she gives us a little badge. There's also a trophy for sleeping for a whole hour. So I found a sleeping spot, put him to sleep, put an hour timer on, come back, started recording, and then got productive day. I also found the final memories for B12. I found the last one here, which is just this big, I don't know what you want to call it, this big thing of eyes everywhere. You get the trophy I Remember, and you also get a little reward for getting them all. He gives you a new color for your little backpack thing. So it turns into like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell in this room because it's like dark, but it's like chrome and stuff, which I thought that was pretty cool. Next up, I decided to do the speed run. There is a trophy for finishing this game in under 2 hours, which is pretty easy once you've played the game once. You just run straight to all the objectives. You don't need to worry about any of the collectibles or anything. So you just run around, go straight to the objectives. I think I did it in an hour and 50 minutes, and that was including dying a couple of times. So yeah. I also went back and found the final scratching point, which was in the rooftops here, which I must have missed in my couple of playthroughs. You get the trophy territory. Now, if you remember at the start of the video, I said during this little sequence there is a trophy for getting through the whole sequence without getting caught once by the Zerks. This took me over, and I'm not even exaggerating here, over 150 tries to get this thing completed. I put in just a couple of the failed attempts because otherwise it would be way too much footage to get through. But I was watching YouTube videos, I was trying different techniques. I don't know if it was just, I just had the worst luck in the world, or if I'm just really bad at this sort of thing, but it took me so long. And even this one, up those set of stairs, that was the end, and I died right at the end. That was so frustrating. But I kept at it. It must have taken me over probably an hour and a half, split up into different tries because I was just getting so frustrated, failing all the time, before I finally managed to get through this whole sequence without getting caught once by these bloody Zerk things. And I tell you, I've been gaming since I was a long time, since I was a lot younger, and I cannot remember a time being more frustrated with a game. Like, this game has been easy sailing the whole time until I got to this challenge, and it just, it broke me. Like, I had to step away 2 or 3 times from this challenge because I just could not understand how I kept failing and failing and failing. But we got there eventually, and I am so thankful for it because it was horrible. Oh my god, finally. Holy shit. Oh, thank god that is over. So there we have it. There is the Platinum Trophy, all done for Stray. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe, and look out for more Platinum Trophies in the future.